Welcome to this demonstration of the integration between Spirent iTest and Spirent Landslide. In the demonstration, we'll use iTest to capture a test running in Landslide. We'll modify the captured test to repeat some of the steps, and then add some analysis rules to validate some of the data. We'll then execute the automated test, and then graph and verify the returned data. Here's a look at our demonstration setup. The lab includes a single Landslide chassis running the latest version. On the PC, we've installed the corresponding Landslide APIs and the latest version of iTest. The NTAF server between the two enables communication between Landslide and iTest. By the way, for this demonstration, we've installed the server on the same PC. The NTAF server could just as well be running on another host in the lab or even in the cloud if the lab has cloud connectivity. All right, let's start the demonstration. The first thing we do is to launch the NTAF proxy on the PC. This makes the Landslide harness available over NTAF to iTest. Now that the NTAF proxy is running, we can author a test case in iTest just like we normally do. We'll switch to iTest. In the Activities view, we click Develop a Test Case. I specify that I want to create a new test case and select the topology. Well, our topology is quite simple and includes a single Landslide chassis. Now let's open a test session on that chassis. Opening the session launches the Landslide GUI. To capture the test, we interact with Landslide exactly the way we normally do. Now let's open a Landslide test. Okay, in the test case settings, let's specify the attributes that we want to parameterize in iTest. We'll parameterize the number of subscribers and their activation rate. This means that later you can modify the test case as you need for a larger or smaller number of subscribers, for example. To do that, we click the text box and then press the F2 key. In the dialog box, we click the NTAF capture button. Now, let's repeat the process for the activation rate parameter. That's all there is to it. Now, if we switch over to iTest, we can see that iTest has captured the fact that we want to parameterize these two variables. Okay, let's go back to the Landslide session now and run the test case. Landslide returns a snapshot of the ports every 15 seconds, and iTest captures all of that returned data. Let's let the test run for a minute or so, and I'll stop the recorder now and turn it back on when the test finishes. Okay, the test is run for about a minute now, so I'll click the stop button to stop the Landslide test, and let's close the Landslide session. Now, back in iTest, we see that iTest captured everything we did. Let's render all of these captured steps as an iTest test case. Here we are in the test case editor looking at the resulting test case. The test case steps include the captured parameter values as well as the data that was returned every 15 seconds. So from this point forward, you can edit this test case just like any other iTest test case. You can add analysis rules or add logic to the test case and so on. To speed up the demo, we have taken another test case that's identical to the one that we just captured, and we've just added some analysis rules that validate some of the values returned in the data. You can see that the test configures the start rate and the number of sessions. We inserted a loop here to test that each of the sessions is opened. The loop is controlled by the sessions pending variable that is returned in the Landslide data. Okay, now let's run the iTest test case and watch it execute. Now it's counting down the sessions pending value. The test case is also creating a simple chart that shows the packets received. Let's open the chart view in iTest now. In the chart, we can see that the packets received counter is increasing over time, which is just what we would expect. We can also see that the sessions pending value is decreasing and the loop is counting down. So when we add more and more sessions, the number of packets is increasing, which is just what we would expect. Now let's wait a moment for the test case to finish. The test finished executing with no errors. We see that the number of pending sessions is equal to 0, which means that all of the sessions started successfully, just what we want to see. And the number of packets increased, which is also what we'd like to see. It looks as if this test case ran as expected. Well, that concludes our demo of using iTest to automate Spirent Landslide tests. Thank you very much for your time.